Hello, my name is Marcello, and all of us from TSAV would like to welcome you to the Source Audio Video Design Group's YouTube channel. Welcome back to those joining us again. Today we will look at the Woo Audio WA23 Luna headphone tube amplifier and preamplifier. This video will discuss some design features, build quality, and some of my sound impressions. This is the first Woo Audio amp I have been able to demo at home and in a quiet listening environment. In this video, I'm going to discuss the quality of sound of the WA23 Luna with several headphones, such as the OG Focal Utopia, the new Focal Utopia 2022, the DCA Expanse, the Meze Elite, the LCD5, the Focal Stellia, the Sennheiser HD800S, the Sennheiser HD660S, and lastly, the headphone from Head Audio. Before we get into that portion of the video, let's talk about the build quality, design, and overall look and feel. The WA23 Luna is a headphone amplifier and preamplifier that was created to bring the level of quality and sound performance of the WA33 flagship tube amplifier from Woo, but in a smaller desktop form factor. For this reason, I wanted to test the amplifier and gather my impressions on my desktop area in my office. From a size perspective, as you can see, it fits perfectly on my larger stand-up desk with ample room around it. It is easily the best looking headphone tube amplifier I have ever had on my desk, or in my house for that matter. The WA23 Luna's beautifully CNC machine chassis is made from a single piece of aluminum, and the black and copper are stunning and are my favorite color combos for hi-fi gear. I remember talking with another tube amplifier manufacturer almost 2 years ago about how they should make a special edition of a black and copper tube amplifier. Well, it looks like Woo Audio beat them to the punch. Even the clean-cut lines and the way the tubes are displayed in the center of the amp are just so much better looking from an aesthetic perspective than the old-school big box design of many other headphone tube amplifier manufacturers. The curved lines are on the volume controller that enclose the Premium Alps RK50 potentiometer with a subtle but helpful backlight that blinks on startup as the tubes are warming are fantastic. This backlight also signifies the position of the volume by a clearly marked glowing line in the volume controller, easily allowing you to see the listening volume position in a dark environment. Also on the front of the amp, you have a balanced 4-pin XLR output for headphones, a preamplifier or a headphone selector, followed by an impedance selector for high and low impedance headphones, followed by the excellent volume control, which is a pleasure to turn. Underneath the volume controller, you have the on-off power button, followed by the output level selector for high and low gain, and the input selector for inputs 1, 2, and 3. Lastly, you have a 1/4-inch headphone output. Another thing I love about the visual design is the low-key flexing that Woo does with this amp, just placing their tube logo on one side of the amp and the name and model on the other. There is no big lettering or logo screaming, "Look at me." This amp is visually made for the premium headphone listener that also loves superb visual design language focused on the listener and their experience, not the manufacturer's branding. Even on the external power supply, a simple but beautiful gold Woo Audio tube logo adorns the black and copper power supply. I also love that they decided to have the heavy power supply separate from the amp, allowing you to hide it if you wish or display it proudly next to the amp. From a technical standpoint, having the power supply separate also allows the WA23 Luna to perform better, reducing noise in the design. Speaking of noise, this amp is dead quiet, even in my office environment where there are more noise issues than in my speaker listening room. None of that transformer hum will be found with the Luna, which still plagues other tube amplifier manufacturers. The WA23 is a handmade, single-ended trialed pure Class A design with point-to-point wiring. This amp is on another level in design compared to the amps it competes with. It is still a tube amplifier, so you must be careful with placement as the tubes themselves will be susceptible to noise from Wi-Fi, cell phones, and other wireless devices. Speaking of tubes, the WA23 Luna uses two 2A3 power tubes, which are electro-harmonics on our store unit, with one 5U4G or one 5U3C rectifier, and two 6C45 driver tubes, which are Sovtech on our store demo amp. The PTFE tube sockets feel high quality, and getting the amp set up with the included directions was a breeze. Also included with the headphone amplifier is the WA23 power supply we discussed earlier, which also has a high-quality custom-made quick-release umbilical cord. On the back of the amplifier, you have RCA inputs 1 and 2. Included with the Luna is a set of RCA jack grounding caps that are pre-installed on the channel 2 input, which must be installed if you are not using that RCA input. Next on the backside, you have XLR input 3, the umbilical cord connector, the voltage selector, and lastly, the XLR preamp out. There is no power cord included with the amp, which allows you as the end user to choose the power cord you wish to complement the amplifier. At this level, most people do this to get the best performance based on their setup. However, I would have liked to see one included for the asking price. This is my only nitpick on the WA23 Luna, and the design, tube complement, look, and feel make the Luna one of my favorite tube amplifiers I have demoed at home. The WA23 Luna is a self-biasing amplifier and transformer coupled. The Luna uses custom-made output transformers to Mundorf Supreme Silver Gold capacitors for interstage coupling, one per channel, and Mundorf M-tube capacitors for voltage filter, which were all carefully selected to achieve the sonic character Woo Audio was going for with this amplifier. The WA23 Luna is compatible with headphones from 8 ohms to 600 ohms with an FR of 10 Hz to 50 kHz. I couldn't find the power or current output rating anywhere. However, I can tell you that it easily drove every single headphone I have in-house, never needing to go past 1 o'clock on the high gain setting. With most of my headphones, I only needed the low gain setting. I also know of a few users who drive the Susvara with no issues, and this is one of their favorite amp pairings for those tremendously challenging to drive headphones. The amplifier with tubes installed is 16 inches long by 10 5/8 inches wide and 4 inches high. The included power supply is 7 inches long by 4 1/8 inch wide by 3 1/4 inch high. The weight comes in right around 30 pounds. The amplifier is designed and assembled in New York and comes with a 3-year limited warranty when purchased from an authorized dealer. So I am entirely in love with its visual design. The amplifier looks good from every angle. It is a beauty. With that out of the way, let's find out if my love for the amplifier extends into the quality of the sound section of the video. For my sound impressions, I primarily listen to the amplifier fed by my Cord Hugo 2 as the DAC, which I use on my desktop. In addition to testing the headphone amplifier with all the headphones I mentioned earlier in the video, I also utilize the excellent sounding preamplifier along with my KEF LS50 Meta speakers, which I use in a near-field desktop capacity. The first thing I listen for with tube amplifiers is a noise floor. I moved it around a few different places in my house before it found its home on my desk, and as I stated earlier, as long as you don't have Wi-Fi or cellular devices close to the tubes, the amp is very quiet with no humming of any kind from the transformers. With the tube complement I have in-house, I would describe the overall sound signature of the WA23 Luna as dynamic, fast, and detailed, with a very well-defined sound stage and a bit warmer than neutral in the bass and mid-range regions. The warmer, the neutral presentation in the bass and mid-range is complementary to headphones that are a little leaner in their sound signatures, such as the HG800S, or headphones with a more forward upper mid-range, such as the Audeze LCD5 or the OG Focal Utopia. The Luna will not turn these headphones into bass cannons by any means, but it's a nice bump in all the right places for my preferences with these headphones, making them more enjoyable to listen to for longer listening sessions. I will go through a few of my favorite pairings of headphones with the WA23 Luna and share some of my audible impressions from a few songs to give you an idea of my listening experiences. Listening to the new 2022 Focal Utopia, which has a warmer signature than the OG Utopia, I queued up Blinding Lights from The Weeknd. The rumble from the sub bass is powerful and prominent from the first bass hit. The synths sound defined with ample sparkle to them. The Weeknd's vocals are center stage and presented intimately but well defined from the rest of the track's production. Queuing up the same track but with the OG Focal Utopia, the bass sounds a bit tighter with less quantity, but with a bit more detail and presence to the Weeknd's vocals. Both headphones sound highly engaging and extremely enjoyable with the WA23 Luna, and it will come down to your preferences on which pairing you may enjoy more. Still, the Luna was complementary to both, creating an intimate but well-defined soundstage and punchy, detail-rich dynamics. Moving down the Focal train, I went to my current favorite closed-back headphones, the Focal Stelia, and queued up the Tron Legacy soundtrack from the legendary Daft Punk. The Stelia are my most sensitive headphones in the house, and they have been able to pick up noise from the transformers of lesser quality made tube amplifiers. However, with the Woo Audio WA23, they are silent. Listening to the grid, I am met by synths that give me chills. They are so well defined and powerful with a deep and robust bass line. As The Son of Flynn begins to play, I am reminded how much I love this album and these headphones. The definition, dynamics, speed, and extraordinary imaging of the Stelia are magnified by the Luna, taking all the excellent qualities of the Stelia to the next level. When Recognizer begins to play, it is evident that I could get lost in this combo listening to the Stelia and the Luna for hours. Moving on to the HG800S, I queued up Thievery Corporation's Symphonic album, making sure to turn the high impedance knob first. I met with a glorious soundstage with air, sparkle, and beautiful sounding vocals. The track's bass line still isn't as deep and powerful as it should be for this song, which is just the way it goes with the HG800S, as they trade a deep, satisfying bass signature for a well-performing mid-range and incredibly open and airy soundstage with ultra imaging. When Love Has No Heart begins to play, the cymbals and percussion sound excellent with great definition and dynamics. The bass is still better than I have heard from other more neutral sounding amps in-house, so the Luna is complementary to the HG800S in this regard, while allowing the treble region to sound very airy and shimmery, but not overly bright, again making what many consider to be bright sounding headphones more balanced sounding and enjoyable to listen to. Moving into the world of planar magnetic headphones, I grabbed the DCA Expanse purposefully after listening to the HG800S to see how the Luna displayed the soundstage of both headphones. I queued up the same songs. I was very curious in hearing how well the Luna could drive the Expanse, knowing they are very current-hungry planars. Switching to high gain, the Luna had more than enough current and power to accommodate the Expanse, and I couldn't even get past noon on the volume control. The soundstage of the Expanse sounds terrific, less exaggerated than that of the HG800S, along with far better bass presentation and a more refined treble region. The percussion and drums have good punch when being played, and the cymbals sound excellent with a great splash when being struck. Anytime I listen to a DCA headphone, I have to cue up some Dire Straits, which I did next playing Money for Nothing, one of my favorite test tracks. The Expanse presents beautifully with the WA23 Luna, sounding expansive, dynamic, detailed, and highly engaging. When the electric guitar rips on the song's opening, it hits all the right chords, and the dynamics from the drums are terrific. Mark's vocals sound tremendous. This is an excellent headphone amplifier pairing for my preferences on this track. Moving down the line of planar headphones, I grabbed the other most difficult to drive headphones I have in-house, the Headphone from Head Audio, and played A Hard Teacher from the Last Samurai soundtrack. The string instruments sound beautiful and tonally enjoyable, with every string pluck sounding dynamic and defined. When the wind instruments come in, they don't sound bright, but beautiful tonally. Again, the Luna in high gain has plenty of current and power to fill out the sound of the head, sitting around 1 o'clock on the volume control. Listening next to the Meze Elite and Light from Hans Zimmer from the Thin Red Line, I am met with a beautiful violin, powerful strings from the orchestra, and impactful percussion. The Meze Elite is not challenging to drive, and the low gain on the Luna sounded fantastic with the edges of the strings sounding crisp and rich in tone. Finishing up with the last planar headphone, the LCD5 and Snarky Puppy Lingus. The dynamic shifts in the music and speed of the LCD5 pair terrifically with the Luna. The detail from the bass regions is fantastic, with a little lift above the more neutral tube and solid-state amps in-house, which is what the LCD5 needs in my opinion. The upper mid-range also sounds a bit smoother, making the LCD5 more enjoyable to listen to. The detail and imaging are next level with the LCD5, allowing me to hear every single instrument, its position, and the speed at which they are being played. I almost forgot, I also listened to the Sennheiser HD660S with a WA23 Luna and found pairing them together to be highly enjoyable. The Woo Audio WA23 Luna, in my experience, is a headphone amplifier that plays well with all the headphones I have in the house. Honestly, it would be hard to choose which I enjoyed most with the amplifier, as it brings out the best qualities in each of the headphones while mitigating some of the areas of opportunity, especially with the headphones that may sound a touch bright or too forward in the upper mid-range. At its asking price, this is precisely what I expect from a headphone tube amplifier of this caliber, with better build quality, better visual aesthetics, better desktop size, and a quieter noise floor, the WA23 Luna gives other boutique tube amplifier manufacturers some very serious competition. The Luna has quickly become one of my favorite headphone tube amplifiers I have heard at any price. As always, I encourage you to listen to the WA23 Luna with other headphones and compare it to other tube amplifiers to formulate your impressions, as we all differ on what we value or prefer in sound quality. We have over 50 headphones and a ton of amps and DACs in our TSAV showroom, so if you are in SoCal, stop by and hang out with us in our headphone bar and have your own listening party. If you are interested in trading up your old headphones or other gently used audio gear for some new audio equipment, check out the links in the video description to our trade-up program, and don't forget, we will price match other authorized dealers. In the description below, I will link to our website and more info on the Luna and other products discussed during this video. Let's start the conversations in the video comments on what you think of the WA23 Luna headphone tube amplifier. While you are there, smash that like button for us and subscribe today for more personal audio videos. Until next time, friends, remember, let the music be your guide.